Hey guys, happy December 1st here. This is going to be the first live broadcast in the set of two that I'll be doing back to back. Do the news here and then I'll do a Q&A, ask me anything, kind of hang out next. So stay if you got the time, hang around, grab some tea if you got some. We're going to spend some time together today, but first, news, topics of the day. We're going to talk Podesta&Clinton, I'll show you actually the videos of both of them responding to Pizzagate, calling it bullshit and looking very scared doing so. We're going to discuss the Q posts, both on 4chan and 8chan, and I'll tell you a little bit about my opinions on them. We'll deduce them together, as we always do. We'll talk about General Flynn and what's going on there. We'll discuss some more booms that I've heard going on around the country. And then also we will talk about alien disclosure. I'll show you some interesting soft disclosure articles that have circulated around the media the past couple of days. And we'll talk a little bit about what's going on there. And I'll show you a really interesting news article that dropped by Newsweek just yesterday, where they're actually talking fractals and anti-gravity in this article. It kind of blew my mind. I was a little shocked when I saw that one. And then some points before I move the screen over to the TV. I just want to tell you I have an interview dropping with Niara Isley over the next few days, probably over the weekend. If you don't know who Niara is, she's a beautiful soul. She was actually in the Air Force, and through hypnotic regression, she was actually able to get back missing memory of her time when she was in what we call MyLab projects, military induction projects, and she has memories of being in various secret space programs. So if you don't know her and her story, check it out a little bit more so, and you can learn more about it in that interview that I'll be releasing with her. Also, I'll be doing some more whiteboard videos. I know a lot of you guys have missed those, so I'll be doing a few more with this big hunky thing, and I'll get them out soon. And then also some podcasts and radio shows I'll be doing. I'll announce those as time progresses here, but I have a radio show coming up and I'm going to be getting into podcasts and also be on some podcasts. So I'm excited for all that. And then lastly, I want to throw this out there. Tomorrow morning, I will be on Michael Trim's show, his YouTube channel, fellow truther, fellow YouTuber. He invited me to be live on his YouTube channel tomorrow morning. We're going to go live at 7 a.m. PST, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to talk secret space program. So we're going to talk a lot of great things in regards to the ET disclosure stuff. We'll definitely be talking these pedophilia disclosures because they go hand in hand with the secret space program stuff. Of course, Podesta&Clinton are very interested in the UFO, what they call the unexplained aerial phenomena topic. And of course I could go on and on about that, but if you want me to hear me go on and on about that, I will be doing so tomorrow morning. Now anyway, TV. Let's talk news. No, aliens are not demons. Well, some might look like it, but there's a lot of good ones out there too, and that's very important to understand, which is why I'll be talking a lot more about it. Anyway, this first video here, I hope you guys can see it. Let's get that down a little bit more. There we go. So look at this. This first video here is from John Podesta addressing Pizzagate. Nice little synchronicity, 10666 there. Anyway, this was him on November 29th, so just a couple days ago, on Wednesday. Funny enough, Hillary Clinton was addressing it yesterday on the 30th, back-to-back days. They were talking about it synchronistically enough. And I'll play this for you guys. I hope you can hear it.
Thank you so much for being here, Mr. Podesta. Oh, there we go. Okay, so you've talked a lot about Trump, his administration, Clinton, the election. I'm wondering if you can address some of the controversies or maybe just conspiracy theories tied to you, your brother, and the Podesta group. So whether that's your personal email leak as it relates to Pizzagate,
short video here, I'll play it for you guys.
75,000 shares of stock you received from the Kremlin, potentially violating financial disclosure laws, Uranium One being a client of the Podesta group.
Fast forward a little bit.
Why your brother left the Podesta group after facing criminal inquiry. As an aspiring person in politics, I'm curious as to how you're dealing with
She's got balls for asking this, let me tell you.
This is how the alt-right does fake news. And I have been put through this Pizzagate bullshit.
It's Pizzagate bullshit.
For a year, which has been totally debunked.
Debunked by who?
My relationship with the company that you're talking about, which was based in Boston, an American innovative company. I fully disclosed, and Fox has had to correct that twice.
Is that right, Skippy? Someone says.
I have no relationship to the Podesta Group and haven't for 15 years.
No relationship to a group that his brother owns. How? So anyway, amazingly hilarious. Just look at him. He looks so sickly. You can only imagine how scared that this man has been, not only for the last year, but especially now, right? He looks so frail and so angry, and you can just speculate as to what goes on behind the scenes with that guy, how fucking worried he is at night. But anyway, there's Podesta's response, calling it alt-right bullshit. Now let's look at what happened at Hillary Clinton's event. So this is a video from her talk last night where she had a heckler. Not quite as civilized as what had happened with John Podesta, but let's play this video here. You can see that man right there. He was heckling the crowd. Can't quite hear what he says, but assuming he's discussing Pizzagate or heckling Hillary Clinton about something that she deserves to be heckled about. But what essentially happens, we'll fast forward to when Hillary addresses it.
Terrible story that John Podesta and I were running a child trafficking ring in the basement of a pizzeria in Washington, D.C.
That's how she can deny it, because it's misleading information. Nobody's saying that they were running a child sex trafficking ring out of the basement of Comet Ping Pong, you see? All we're saying is that Comet Ping Pong was some kind of front that's connected in some way or another to John Podesta, Hillary Clinton and company, and they are involved in Luciferian practice in, yes, human trafficking and trafficking of basically everything. I mean, there's a lot of drugs Hillary Clinton's involved in trafficking as well. Arkansas. That's how they get around it with a lot of their political doublespeak. But again, Hillary Clinton looks pissed. They're scared. And, you know, their time is obviously drawing short. So I want to share those two things with you guys. Freaking hilarious. And it really burns you, though. Man, you get so angry just listen to them lying through their teeth on video like that. And if it doesn't piss you off, then you need to detox your brain from some fluoride, let me tell you, because this shit needs to make you emotional. Or you're just running from the pain. Let's talk Flynn real quick. So, Michael Flynn, okay, it was reported today that he's pleading guilty to lying to the FBI. I'm going to tell you some quick notes on it, but first I just want to show you a comparison between CNN's headlines on it and Fox News headlines. So, blatant, just complete duality in their reporting of the subject. This is what CNN says. They literally have it under a subheader here, the Russia investigation. You know, they're classifying everything under that. Of course, there is what we could call the false Russia investigation that they're fronting for, and then we could say the true Russia investigation that does involve Podesta, Uranium One, and Hillary Clinton. But anyway, let's talk false Russia investigation here. So CNN, this is their headline. Flynn pleads guilty to lying to the FBI, is cooperating with Mueller. Let's check out Fox News' headline. It says, Michael Flynn pleads guilty to false statements charge in Russia probe. So not lying to the FBI, you can see the stark contrast in how they're reporting it. CNN is much more ad hominem. Literally no journalistic integrity from that news organization. And surprisingly enough, you know, I never would have said this 3-4 years ago, but Fox News, I am liking much more than CNN and NBC and their corporate counterparts. And Fox News is getting much more truth out there than they ever have in the past. Mind you, you know, Rupert Murdoch gave up his position at Fox News last year. Not only this, but earlier this year when we had Bill O'Reilly out of the station and Megyn Kelly out of the station, it looked to be like there was some cleansing occurring there. And now Fox News seems to be pushing out a lot more truthful information, a lot more soft disclosure onto the people. So it's just very interesting to see that. You have to kind of suspend your belief systems and suspend what you're attached to, because I see a lot of people still attached to that idea that, oh my God, Fox News, they're so brainwashy, they're so awful. right? I was just talking to somebody yesterday, and this is what they were trying to hound home in my head. You can't believe Fox News. It's like, no, I would have agreed with you 3, 4, 5 years ago, but now, man, they are surprising the heck out of me, and I believe doing much better work than all the rest. So when it comes to Flynn, just a couple points I wanted to note on that. Didn't really mean to exit out of that, but so there's actually no charges related to lobbying in what's going on with Michael Flynn. I have a couple other notes here. They're all process crimes that he's charged for. It's not going to head in the way of the Clinton, DNC, Trump, Russia, false Russia investigation that we were talking about. Basically, what's going to happen now is Flynn will fully cooperate with Mueller and the special counsel, and, I see as this just being a convenient distraction. It's a distraction for the deep state and their media, while these alliance or these white hats can kind of continue cleaning up things behind the scenes. So there's that. Let's talk these booms. Okay, so this is a article that was ran just yesterday in Russia Today. So these booms are actually picking up steam in the media. You can see on Russia Today, they say unexplained loud booms rattling houses, puzzling southern Arizona. So this article is about the booms being in southern Arizona, happening 2 nights in a row, they say, on Tuesday and Wednesday this week. And pretty interesting. But, cool statement they have at the end of this article. It says, among the most recent reports are unexplained booms in Michigan, Idaho, and Alabama. I've heard most recently, as of Wednesday and even continuing to yesterday, these booms have been heard in southern Utah and also in Florida. So I have some notes down here as just to multiple speculations as what these booms could be. I think they could very well be deep underground military bases being either constructed or taken out, or explosions occurring in them. Of course, there's a huge behind-the-scenes war, literal civil war occurring, so these deep underground military bases that could have been inhabited by the military-industrial complex or the deep state could be being attacked in some way or another. That could be how these booms are being created. It's odd enough that they're being heard in Arizona and in southern Utah, so that could be the case, Could be some kind of... This kind of coincides with the deep underground military bases, but I was speculating space war. Who knows? Earth changes. Sonic booms occurring. Could be some energetic shifts that are going on that are causing some vibrations of some nature. And then this one's funny. It's kind of out there, but I like this one that I heard, and that is chemtrail planes. I've always speculated that maybe these chemtrail planes going across the sky are drones, and that's how they get around having the sensitivity of actual pilots. What if they don't need pilots? No pilots to rat on these programs, and these chemtrail planes are just drones. What if these chemtrail planes are being taken out, and these booms are from that? I don't know. Speculation, fun thing to think about, but heard that, could be. And now, actually, before we get into talking about the extraterrestrial disclosure stuff, I actually totally skipped all the Q things I want to go over, but we'll do that now. So here's all the Q posts that have happened over the past 24 hours, and this is actually on both 4chan and 8chan. The posts in green here are on 4chan, and the posts in purple here are on 8chan. Now remember, Q is our alleged insider that's been posting on 4chan since the very end of October, for a month now, okay? The thing is, over the past week or so, especially since the 25th, 4chan has gotten so infested by trolls that supposedly Q had migrated onto 8chan. But there was some very weird discrepancies in the new supposed posts from Q, or whatever group Q represents on 8chan. One of those discrepancies was actually on the trip code that identifies every poster on the 4chan anonymous posting website. The Q, there was actually no space between the Q and the exclamation point. Now this sounds like it's a very basic or minuscule thing that shouldn't really matter, but it matters huge, because that could very well mean that it's not the same person without that space. But now on 8chan, there seems to be a space now between the trip code and the Q, so maybe this person on 8chan is actually Q and Q had migrated. You know, in another video I did the other day, I said that I don't necessarily trust all this 8chan stuff. But of course, you know, the best discerners of us can always change our minds. Maybe this 8chan is legit Q. I don't know. As of right now, I'm going to treat both 4chan Q and 8chan Q as being possibly true. I'm not going to attach myself to them being legitimate. But whatever the case is, as between 4chan and 8chan now, I think what's gone on over the past month is still all absolutely legitimate stuff. And it should be noted that even if someone is LARPing or, you know, whatever the heck's going on, it's still great questions, great things to answer and ponder as to what's going on here. Everything with Saudi Arabia, everything that's going on with these questions that are being posed, asking us to continue investigating and doing our own research. It's good stuff, regardless. A lot of people are saying in the comments right now, 8chan Q is legit. You know, I'm kind of leaning towards that right now, again. But let's first discuss what's gone on. It looks like the 8chan posts were first. So last night, we'll discuss those first. We'll go chronologically through these. Q says, Saudi Arabia controlled U.S. puppet, strings cut. Makes sense, you know, corroborates. Democrats dropping all around over sexual misconduct, first stage. Again, I agree with that. That's exactly what it looks like is going on. What I've been saying and feeling, more corroboration. Coincidence directly after Saudi Arabia? Nope. Don't you realize war has gone public? Yes, it has. List who will not be running for re-election. Great statement there. I think the last list I saw was that over 70 congressmen will not be running for re-election. More correspondence. Coincidence? No. Phase 1. Easy to swallow. That's basically what I've been saying. This all has to be slowly pressed upon the public. Someone just made a comment that says follow at Kabamer_Tegeta. Yes, go do that. I've talked to him. He seems like a very legitimate dude. I trust his stuff. Anyway, sorry, tangent. Easy to swallow. The mass public has to be prepped. Their consciousness has to be kind of stroked, you know, with these things going on. So they can actually believe the Pizzagate stuff when it comes out, right? Good time to prosecute. Hope so. Hope those indictments go somewhere, right? 4,000 plus. Just wait until next week. Been waiting for a few weeks now. Hopefully some stuff goes on. But I get it's a very complicated situation and there's so much to sweep up. But again, guys, let's pray that it happens soon. You are all patriots. This message, right? This one is referencing the White House Anon that I talked about a couple days ago. And with this message, it makes me think of that maybe that White House Anon wasn't an Anon, but maybe a breach of some sort, you know? White House party with 400 guests. Whoever posted those insider pics did not take into account, I'm trying to zoom into this, the many White House public and private security scams which can triangulate and tie blog and identify the person responsible. We will investigate. So, who knows? With that White House Anon that posted those pictures from the Christmas party, remember, if you saw my video of that, was that a good thing or a bad thing? Who, insider for who, right? This message, again, all these messages were within about an hour or two span last night that we're going through. This one says, less than 10 can confirm me. It's funny. I don't know if it's the me. I have ideas as to who I think it used to be. I have more ideas as to who it could very well be now. Not sure what these means. Do it Q, Twitter repeat, Twitter keywords, coincidence, 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 pics, coincidence meant only for you. I thought nothing was a coincidence, but everything is now. Let's see. Sounds odd. Hussein is evil and a real loser. No special treatment. Shopping around for a few new handler protection is fun to watch on the SATs, Spycoms, morons, all of them. Oh, this makes sense now. I bet that this message means that the NSA, or not the NSA, the White Hats or whoever, was spying on maybe Clinton or some of them And maybe they were trying to, like it says here, shop around for a new handler, new protection, since their protection from Saudi Arabia was cut. So, morons, all of them. That's my idea as to what that might be. Here we go. 89074, underground massive data center. So this is a zip code for Henderson, Las Vegas, right? Or Henderson, Nevada, right next to Las Vegas, I should say. So this was actually corroborated in this Q post. And this was the Q post last night on 4chan. So all the ones we just went over in purple, again, are the 8chan ones. This was the Q post on 4chan. And it also references that 89074 zip code. So there's some corroboration between the 4chan Q and the 8chan Q. They could be the same person. Again, this is a thing I'm seeing, guys. I want to make a side note real quick. I'm seeing a lot of people think they know things. They think they're so sure. You can't be sure or assume that you know for a fact the absolute truth of barely anything these days. So we can make very educated guesses, but again, you can't say you know. I see a lot of people just doing that, and I'm like, how do you know this for a fact? You don't. So we can say with confidence, but don't let it break your heart if your belief system gets shattered. But anyway, I confidently can say that it looks like now that 8chan Q is 4chan Q is 8chan Q, probably migrated to 8chan because of the infiltration on 4chan when all this started blowing up. So I'll be following them both closely. And I think that's the only way we can continue corroborating and verifying is if we just follow them closely. So anyway, that's the Q of the day. And again, you guys, I'll be doing a Q&A sesh after this. I'm just going to go right into the next live video once this process. This will probably take me 5 to 10 minutes. You can ask me all the Q questions you want in there. I'll go off on them. Ask me anything. And lastly, let's talk about the disclosure of the day. Talk about some alien disclosure stuff. So I am seeing a very interesting bifurcation, a very interesting split in the media of the world. And by this, I mean what we're seeing come out of China and Russia right now, and I mean literally over the past day in regards to alien information from their mass media corporations, is a stark contrast to what's coming out of America. Let me first show you. This is from China. Granted, yes, it's a Newsweek article, but it's information out of China. It says, China detects a weird space signal with its dark matter Monkey King satellite. So they're talking about some weird space signals that are being heard out in space from China. And get this, at the very same time in Russia, 2 days ago, they actually claimed to have found living bacteria from outer space has been found on the outside of the ISS. So both China and Russia saying they're finding weird signals and saying they're finding living bacteria on the outside of the International Space Station just over the past couple days, right? Really, really big news, actually. I mean, to most of us, you guys watching me are the truthers, it's not news, right? We know there's been an ET presence on this planet for millennia, both many different kinds of species of ETs, and there's been a lot of technologies that are on this planet right now associated with the extraterrestrials. But to the mass public, they don't know that. So these news articles being relayed to the mass public is big news. But now we'll see the ones coming out of America. This one by way of NBC. NBC says, the search for space aliens just hit a speed bump. And then right here, the same thing is parroted on space.com, but they're calling it the equator trap. May complicate the search for alien life. So it seems to be that on the American side of things, you know, space.com, NBC, they're trying to clamp down. They're trying to put a hush on those soft disclosures that are coming out of China and Russia overseas, you see? So that looks like what's going on right now. And in my opinion, the American corporate media is trying to put a hush on it because they want their version of disclosure to come out. They want a sanitized, or what we could call a partial, a half disclosure, a false flag disclosure even come out. when it comes to China and Russia, maybe what they're doing right now is trying to push the soft disclosures out because they want a more full disclosure to come out much faster. The deep state with their American media see that, and they're trying to run these articles to cover ass for it. You know, that's what I'm seeing. That's the dynamic that I feel is going on with all those. And now I'm going to finish up with 2 Newsweek articles. Again, lots of stuff coming out of Newsweek lately. I think that Newsweek is one of the primary organizations over the last 2 weeks that are putting out a lot of these partial disclosure articles that are trying to seed the American public's consciousness with these ideas. So any kind of contingency plan of a false flag, extraterrestrial or secret space program, or UFO disclosure coming forward, you know, they'd be able to have a better chance of doing that because Newsweek is prepping us. But I want to show you this article that I found, stumbled across, came out just this morning by Newsweek. Look at the headline. It says, I'm going to exit these, zoom in here, dark matter and dark energy might not exist, potentially forcing a rethink of our understanding of the entire universe. Whoa, you guys. You know, my jaw almost dropped when I saw this one because they're saying that the claimed conventional mainstream science is wrong. And they're saying, oh my God, we might need a rethink. That's huge. If they're saying dark matter and dark energy don't exist and we need to rethink our understanding of the entire universe, I mean, yes, that's exactly what we need to do. But why the hell is Newsweek, corporate media pillar right here, saying that? You know? And let's go down a little bit more into this article. They're kind of talking about some of the anomalies that with dark matter and dark energy that don't make sense through here. But then they get right here, where they're talking about another way out. And they're discussing some different alternative theories. They're literally saying, what are alternative theories of physics? Shit, man. Crazy. And they're actually talking about, quote, scale invariance is what they're calling it. But it's basically a fractal. They're kind of talking about scale invariance being fractal. And they're actually saying the shape of the fractal will remain the same even if we zoom in by some set magnification. Wow, they are putting some very esoteric science, some very, what they always claim to be pseudoscience, out to us now. This makes no sense. They're totally going back on their contradictions. What the hell, you guys? And, you know, they say this is different from what Einstein suggested. What? You know, this is crazy stuff. And it even mentions anti-gravity in this article, talking about how there's this almost inverse relationship to where we have matter and some kind of antimatter, and that antimatter being like an anti-gravity repulsion, something to that effect. It's crazy. It's cool, you know? But again, what they're doing, and this is an article right here, again by Newsweek, that I reported on a few days ago. Why are they running these articles, guys? New university class claims alien conspiracy theories are real. Now they're setting us up with a article saying, oh, all those are alternative theories, or could very well be the case, right? And they're going to continue doing this. They're going to continue seeding little bits of truth into the public consciousness to distract us and to normalize these things, but also in an attempt, again, and if you want to hear me talk about it tomorrow on Michael Trim's show, and I'll talk about it more soon, but the whole false flag disclosure thing, if it's something that Podesta and Clinton have been very involved with, because if they were able to push along some kind of half-assed disclosure, there's different ways they could do that and completely distract from all these pedogate, all this pedophilia information coming out. That's what they want. But if we are able to nail down the truth, get clear on things, they won't be able to do that. They won't be able to swindle us with any kind of false flag disclosure. So anyway, that's all for this one, guys. Let this video process. I'm gonna, you know, do another video back to this. So hang around. I'll be back in a few minutes. Take care, guys.